And welcome to the second episode of Digital Salon series with Drukyul's Literature Festival Bhutan Echoes. With me today, we have Mr. Kelly Dorji, who is an exceptional actor, model, and who's also one of the executive producers at Bhutan Echoes. I'm pretty sure we don't need a detailed introduction to Mr. Kelly Dorji. I'm pretty sure most of you know who he is. I'm Jampel Yeshey Payldon, your host for today, and today we'll basically be having a very informal conversation with me and Mr. Kelly Dorji on his book, The Hidden Rainbow: Color to Heal, which he published a few years ago. So this is the copy of the book that I have right now. Okay, so without further ado, I'd directly jump on with the questions that I have for you today, Mr. Kelly. So the
Okay,
first
Shay.
question I have for you is based on the illustration that is made on the cover of your book. It's really intriguing, and it actually intimidates us to know, actually know what the context of the book actually is. So the first question for you is, how were you inspired to write this book, and what led you to writing this book?
A couple of years ago, Ishi, thanks for having me on this chat. It's We've been planning it for some time, and I'm excited that
Thank you very much.
we're finally here doing this. Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I was, emotionally quite edgy, and uh, I was feeling a little spiritually depleted. And I've been doing art most of my life, but Meeta Kapoor from India suggested that I do a book, because I have a name and I do art and I should do something. So I say, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe I'll do something with art, and just come up with something crazy. And she chased me, and we finally got it done. And I must say that it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. It really took a lot out of me. I was working 3 jobs at the time where I was acting, I was running a travel agency as well as going home at night and then starting work on this book. And it took me about 2.5 years, but I managed to get it done. And at the end of it, what I had was just artwork, which I took from regular iconography. So what you see in my book is not anything actually really original. It's just redesigned iconography and what it means to me. It was my own search for the basics of Buddhism, the way Bhutanese know it. So I wanted to research that. And then I remembered my grandmother's stories from Tibet, and also my spiritual guru, one of my spiritual gurus in India, from the art of living. So I wanted to just incorporate what I knew about spirituality and my leanings towards religion or spirituality for that matter. So all this just came together and I created this book. But in the process, I only had artwork.
Mhm.
And then Ajikazam Chodin told me, she said, "Oh, Achu, I think you need to put in some sort of writing in it and definition of explaining your work." So I was like, "Oh my God, that's so private, I mean, like." But then I realized, oh, I'm doing a book. It's not private anymore. So I said, "Lasla, I'll make a writing about it." So I wrote something about it, and then she gave it back to me and said, "No, no, no, you gotta write more." So then that's how the author bit came in. Then I said, "Okay, let's not feel shy. Let's just give it 100%." So I just unabashedly put together my thoughts and presented to the reader my explanation for what I designed over there. And that's how this book came together.
Wow. I mean, that is such a beautiful story to this book. I mean, I've actually thought about, what you would actually answer on this question. And I was like really thinking, I was thinking of all the possible answers you could actually say. And this never clicked to me. I mean, I always thought it was, some sort of an inspiration that you drew from maybe an art or, just
I know it's not as romantic as that. Everybody would like to have a romantic notion about this or that, but the ground reality is that, oh, I did this. They told me it's not good enough. Do that.
I mean,
So
most of the
that's how it
writers,
is.
most of the artists, they have they draw inspiration and then they'd be like, okay, so this is what inspired me to write this book. And this is they have particular incidences where they feel like, oh, okay, so this is what I want to be doing in my life.
Yeah,
And it's a
yeah.
very unique,
Well,
right?
yeah, for sure. Ishi, I could put it another way. I could say that, oh, I was very inspired by the iconography of our country, and I did that. But the actual reality is that I really wanted to. I was inspired by that, but I needed to put it together into a book. When you're doing a book, there are so many details about it and how to do it, how it's going to be published, who's doing the artwork, who's doing the writing, who's going to clean it up, who's going to help you on the computer. So when you think about all these things, a lot of romantic notions fly out the window, and you just got to be practical and get down to brass tacks.
So I think this, the unique story behind what made you to write this book itself makes the book very unique. And I'm pretty sure the viewers who are going to tune in to listen to this section, Artist Out, would be actually inspired. You can take inspiration
Yes.
from their daily life, maybe like just start writing it or anything that is related to it.
Oh,
So moving
thank you,
on
Ishit.
to the
Thank you.
second question now. As you mentioned in your title, the hidden rainbow, which you actually meant to say color heal as well. So what
Yeah.
led you to say that? Because it actually leads us to think that you might have had some personal experiences in your life, which not only you yourself, but also us, we can heal from. Like there could be a hidden rainbow somewhere between us, somewhere within ourselves. So basically, as your title had mentioned, the hidden rainbow, what is the hidden rainbow in your life?
Well, the title of the book, The Hidden Rainbow, came about because Bhutan is the land of rainbows.
Mhm.
And I spend a lot of my time in the mountains doing adventure motorcycling.
Mhm.
I know it's not very likely, an artist, there must be something more delicate, but I do so many physical activities that injure me more than protect me while I'm doing art. I come back with broken fingers, and then I can't paint for another 2 months, and stuff like that. But I don't care. I just live life on the edge, and I spend a lot of time motorcycling up in the mountains. And when you're going in the mountains, you see rainbows, but then you go around the mountain and you don't see it, and then you go somewhere else, and suddenly that rainbow appears again.
Yeah.
So, and some of the most beautiful inspirations and thoughts in my life have come to me when I've been alone up traveling on these mountains. So I always wanted to use that title as The Hidden Rainbow, because I was always traveling in search of that rainbow.
Yeah.
So it's chasing the rainbow really, but I called it the hidden rainbow. Give it a little bit more mystical sense. But the second part of it, which is color to heal, that's scientific actually. For many, many years now, it is a proven fact, it is a medical fact that healing through coloring is a complete possibility. It is, let's put it another way. Coloring has been used for many years as a medical form of therapy for many, many people.
That is a very new knowledge to me. I've never thought
Yeah.
about
If you, if
healing.
yes, they use coloring, they use adult coloring books, they use art and painting for as therapy for very many conditions for the human form.
Like, do you have anyone in your life which that you think is like a hidden rainbow in your life, or like personal experiences or personal incidences?
Um, my family, you
Mhm.
know, my entire family are my hidden rainbows, because now when we were young, we were always together, and suddenly we grew up and we went away to college, and then we didn't see each other that often, and then suddenly we all started work, and then we didn't see each other even less, and then now we're started families of our own,
Mhm.
and seeing each other is a luxury.
Mhm.
So I really do consider them as my hidden rainbows, my gems, my inspirations.
That's- So why did you give so much importance to the illustrations in the booklet? Like, I think you've already answered half of it before. You said, how you actually had the illustrations before, and then you didn't think about having the description or the words to it. And then that was like the words came later. So, why did you give so much importance to illustration and basically the importance of coloring that you have in the booklet? So I'd love to hear that.
Um, when I was about 12 years old, I think I wrote my first poem that was worth remembering. And right up until perhaps when I was your age, I was very taken by the romantics, and I had a lot of romantic notions and ideas about things. And I used to write a bit naively, but I did write. And through the years, I started thinking more than writing.
Mhm.
And because I traveled so much, I didn't spend so much time writing. Then I went through a period in my late 20s and my 30s where I decided I wanted to seriously write poetry. And I have quite a collection of my works, but they're very private to me. And I just kept them hidden away from the world, and I found them before I started writing the book. And I said, okay, let me build up my inspiration by going back to who I was as a boy. And then one of my poems, I think, was the main inspiration for coming out with this book, which was how do you really create a visual to what you're going through? So I don't want to say, oh, I'm writing about the sunset, and should I draw the mountains and the sun over there? That's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
In today's competitive world, when you're trying to get the attention of somebody, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, there's this poem. When you see the book, when I was a boy,
Mhm.
I used to think of how the stars came to be. The sun, I thought, gathered for the day
Mhm.
to glow and never fall. And at night, there were sparkling spots of a shattered soul. So my idea when I was 12 years old was that the sun was all the stars. So at night, the sun would burst and make all the stars.
Did you
And in the
write
morning,
when you were
the
12?
stars would come together and make the sun.
Did you write the poem when you were 12?
Yes,
That's actually beautiful. I mean,
yes,
as a teenage girl myself, as a teen myself,
yes.
writing poetry is something I enjoy doing too, and I love reading poems and books. And like especially when we're growing up, I'm pretty sure like everyone has a curiosity to be like, oh my God, what is this? How did it come to life? How was it formed? And all these questions that pop up. But very few of us, put it down into words and be like, okay, I'm gonna write about this, or I'm gonna draw. So every one of us have like different ways of putting it, our passion, doing what we love, and actually doing it. But also at the same time, majority of us were like, we have the idea, but we don't really put it into words, or we don't really paint it and bring it to life. And I think most of the youths, most of the young people today actually lack that ability to do so. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of young people have, like different ideas, unique ideas, but they don't bring it to life. I mean, I'm not really sure why, but they don't do it. And especially back then, at your time, oh, I think that there was this very beautiful culture of writing letters and then writing poetry, and it was so beautiful. And I feel like a lot of people back then have now they actually have really strong literature, strong words, and they have beautiful way of writing it, putting it into words. So I think I really hope that culture can be brought back. And I'm so
I
glad
know.
you spoke about.
The written word, more, the written word is very romantic. But that's life, we're moving on, and there's a new age coming up where now when you send a text, when I message my niece, she writes back with great as GR and the letter and the number 8. And that means great, and everybody's looking for a simpler, faster, shorter way of doing something. And that also might apply to literature.
Right. I'm so glad you spoke about some of these personal stories, and even how you
Mm,
put the poem in the book and actually relate that. I mean, it's so
yeah.
beautiful, and sometimes it's so hard to actually bring your personal stories, and like share it, especially in like a book, in a special book like this. I mean, I think it makes it more special. But sometimes when you let some personal stories out, the feeling that you have, I mean, sometimes like I feel like a lot of people should do that, but reading this book, it's actually helped me gain a lot of insights and reflect on a lot of things. So I'm really grateful about you
Oh,
writing.
that's nice. Thank you so much, Isha. You were mentioning that there are so many youths today who have ideas and they want to do things, but either they don't know how, or they feel too shy, or
We don't.
they suffer from, or they suffer from the most common disease, which is called procrastination, which which is, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, napale gutsu. I'll go to the gym from tomorrow. I've been victim to that. I'm sure you have too, Mena.
Saying that.
And so many people have put off for tomorrow what they could have done today. But I think it's very important for all of us to realize that why leave for tomorrow what you can do today.
Right.
Be strategic. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Say, those famous sayings. You have to, if you have an idea, just physically start doing one part of it, and you'll realize how it starts snowballing into something bigger. And if you're enjoying it, it just picks up momentum. If you're not enjoying it and you're of the artistic mind, then yes, put it down, give it some time, try something else, but keep doing something.
Yes. Thank you all. It seems like religion is one of the more important keys that is found in the book. Like how we see the cover of the book, the hidden rainbow key, illustrations on it, and then how intriguing it is. And then as we go deeper into the book, we can find more and more content that is related to religion and connecting yourself, like to the religious dots, forming a proper picture of it. So, like, why is religion so important in this book and also in your personal life? You've already mentioned it in when you were answering the first question about,
Yes.
how you were going through that state where you felt like spiritually deprived and you felt like you needed to do something about it. So,
Yes.
the whole book is about spirituality and the some relation to it. And I
Yes.
was wondering, how uh, you personally feel about it.
For so many of us who are practicing religious people, so I say practicing religious people because you could be from any religion,
Mhm.
whether it's from the Muslim faith, the Christian faith, or Hindu faith, or Buddhist faith, or any other faith. I grew up as a practicing Buddhist. But while growing up, I realized that religion could be one thing, but there were so many customs and traditions and forms in the practice of religion that took away from the spirituality of it. Buddha himself would say, oh, you know, treat me as a guru, don't worship me. But eventually, he was so great that we landed up worshiping. He would say, don't take my word for it, experience it for yourself, then be the judge. But no, today you'll have so many fake sayings also attributed to Lord Buddha. So it's just that through the many 2,000 years since Lord Buddha lived on this earth, religion was formed in the sense that it was organized to control people under one faith
Mhm.
to worship him. So I feel that somewhere along the line we're losing the spirituality of it, the real meaning. So, but again, customs and practices, you yourself will be sitting in your home. Do you perform your loches?
Yes.
Yeah. When you sit down in your loches, there must be some prayers and some practices that you wonder why they're holding up a mirror. Why are they throwing that chi in that direction? Why do they put the tsambaka meto on the rice at that particular time? Why do we have to sit like this and hold something in that time against our head or on our head? And why do we have to put the chi on us like that? Why do we have to bow this way and that way? And why this many times? It's so complicated, you know and if you don't understand it and just do it, then that's blind faith.
Yeah.
I think it's important to understand. So this book is also a result of me wanting to understand my daily rituals and see what iconography has to do with it. So I've done it in a form where so many parts of my day come together in a single idea so much. Are you there?
Sorry,
Are you there?
yeah, there's been a problem with the
Okay.
network, I guess. I just lost connections.
Yes, don't worry. Uh, if it happens again, don't worry about it. I'll connect back and we'll continue. But having said that, as I was just saying, there was so much complication with religion and rituals and customs that I just felt it was important to cut through the noise and show the beauty of spirituality in the religion. Meditation, if you noticed in the book, there's so much about the clarity of mind, about the eminence created through meditation. It's so colorful. It's so twirly, wishy-washy. It's all over the place because in meditation, you really have to go through a lot of chaos to find a single path. You know, it's like shaking your head and being able to see an image clearly. You know, so there are so many methods to meditation. You could concentrate on your own breath, which is what I like to do, or you could just try to concentrate on your own thoughts, which is very difficult to do because thoughts are constant. You cannot empty your mind. You can only let it flow. And then there's object meditation. Like, for example, this art piece behind me, it's taken from a 18th century image of Guru Rinpoche in meditation. It's just a beautiful outline with eminence. And I drew this as my devotional work, where now many people around the world, they ask me to make this piece because they want to put it up and look at it and meditate on it. So it's unending what we go through when we're practicing religion. And then it comes down to the fact that you can't do it yourself. Then you need somebody else to do it for you. So I think spirituality is very important for you to maintain your balance.
Yes. And I actually loved the idea, like as soon as I got the book, as soon as the book was released, as soon as the book was published, I saw a lot of stories, saw a lot of pictures, and I was actually, like really excited to get my hands on it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go grab that book. Very that good. So the first time I got the book, and the moment I flipped through the pages in that bookshop, I was flipping through the pages and I see these beautiful illustrations and some descriptions at the other page, with words. And it wasn't like it wasn't very lengthy. It was very easy to understand. And then I see those words, like, I see those colors and, how you coded them beautifully. Like blue, it has its own meaning. White, if you want to paint or color white, then it has its own meaning. So it was so beautiful, like how you had no restrictions to the readers or your audience on, okay, you should color this and this, but we have freedom to choose the color, but according to the meaning. And most of us were so careless when it comes to, the little things in life. For example, this very this very simple example of colors, for example. And then we say, like, what's your favorite color? And we'd be like, oh, blue, white, but we don't really know the meaning behind it. And we use a color carelessly. We see, oh, this is bright, it's bright, or this is dark, so I'm going to paint it with this color, or color it with this. So when it came to this book, how it had its own code, and we have the freedom to choose it or to color it the way we want. That idea was what really blowed my mind. I was like, wow, this is very beautiful. And I just want to do it. Just made me want to like color it right away and be like, I was telling my friends, if you're looking for something to have fun with or like bypass your time or spend your time meaningfully, then this book is just the right one for you. So
thank you.
love that idea.
Thank you so much, Yeshey. You know what? There's that one piece with the four friends, and there's the tar hanging horizontally in front of it, and the tar is all empty. Have you seen that the tar is all empty?
I've seen the
yeah. So in the what I wanted to do in the original one was to draw a credit card as the part of the tars. So each star was a credit card. And then I said, oh, no, I don't want to be overtly like that. Let people think of whatever they want to think of and put it. That's why I kept the tars empty. So people can put anything in there. You could put family members, you could put your dog in there, you could put a credit card, you could put AirPods, you could put anything, It's just wishes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
And
very,
like you said, as far as the colors,
yeah.
are concerned, traditionally, blue means this, and it brings calm and healing, and red means that, and oh, green means something else, and yellow, the primary colors, what
Right.
we use, the five colors, So it's up to you at the end of the day, because even an orange can appear white in a bright light. Even an orange can appear blue when it is in the shadows. It can appear black if it's rotten. Anything.
Mhm.
So
And
it's up to you, your interpretation.
right. When it comes to like, I see a lot of people struggling with connecting some of the lessons or, culture, tradition, be whatever, with the young people today. And then they lack a lot of solutions. Like they're really confused on, okay, so what do we do to involve and engage the young people? How do we attract them? Or how do we, bring their attention to it? How do we make them interested in it? And I feel like this book is one best solution to do so. I mean, bringing, grabbing the attention of the young people onto how they can actually, learn about spirituality and religion in a very modern, unique, and different way. And I personally loved this idea, and it helped me a lot. So I feel like, a lot of young people will be inspired by this now.
Oh, that's a very nice thought. I'm so grateful for that, because at the end of the day, I feel that when I was 12 years old, I was so inspired, and I wrote, and I read so much. And then as I grew older, I wrote and read so much. And then when Facebook came along, I completely stopped reading. The one book that stopped me from reading all other books. So it's just, yeah, I keep joking. I say after Facebook, I stopped reading any other book.
Mhm.
So I think it has been really bad for me. So I
Especially
try to limit.
social
Yeah,
media,
I should sue them more.
I mean, I think that's possible today now. It's been like it's like a necessity now. Everyone, almost
Yeah,
everyone is on Facebook and
yeah,
social media. Now, if you want to do any awareness or
I
application for
know.
anything, I think social media is the first priority people give now because everybody's
Yes.
on
That's why I'm so happy with our Bhutan Echoes initiative, where we follow His Majesty's wish that we should all read 10 pages a day. So that I have been using as a practice, and I've started to read better, and my concentration is slightly building up better as we go.
I've been a follower of 10 pages a day too. I think that is what the
Good, no?
need. Yeah.
Yeah. The first day I read one page and I was like, oh, I've got to go to sleep. I can't manage this.
I think that has helped a lot of youth, like catch up with reading habits and, slowly but like surely they were reading it. So I think that was what mattered.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so, how do you think this book, and especially its title, the subtitle, Color to Heal, is going to intimidate people and your audience and your readers to actually read the book, especially in a time like this with the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdowns taking place, a lot of people getting stuck at home and some very busy in their lives. So, how do you think your book can help your audience, readers, get through a difficult time like this now?
In this light, I would really like to give my full appreciation, firstly, to Meeta Kapoor, my literary agent, and Penguin India, for having quickly expedited the process of getting this book published. And because they did that, we have this book with us today, when I feel that many of us need something, not this book in particular, but need something like it. And if it really is a comforting factor for so many of us. I have given quite a few copies away to help people who are suffering from cancer, or basically haven't been well, or just look like, to me, that they may benefit from having it. But in the book, I say that this book is not meant to cure you or heal you or anything of that. It's your own journey. It's just an instrument that you can carry with you. It'll definitely help you. It's part of your daily medicine. It's not the only medicine. So you could easily just color in it for all it's worth and ignore the writing,
Mhm.
or you could color in it and read the writing and see its relation to the artwork that's there. Or you could read the artwork, read the description of the artwork, and then go and research deeper into that meaning and the terminology given. And that would be very beneficial. And the true benefit of the intention of this book will come out if you use it as a tickler, as if it tickles your curiosity.
Mhm. So like, especially with some of the lockdowns still taking place, and do you think that people can actually, like, just look at it as like a bypassing their time, or just as a coloring the illustrations, or be like, an insight to them?
Yes. My aunt in the UK, my mother's sister-in-law, is never practiced religion. She went to church. She's a Christian. But when I sent her this book, she colors in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's not interested in the religious part, but she likes the meaning of it. She likes the spirituality. Oh, your description of that piece was very interesting. I like that. It's very nice. And she found a lot of therapy from coloring in it, being 89 years old. It's a big entertainment for her, and she really found a lot of meaning, even in a book which is not from her own religion. So, for me, I really appreciated that, and a lot of people write to me with such comments.
Beauty of this book and of a lot of other books, how it originates from a very simple story, a very simple situation, or a very simple cultural tradition that is not yours, but we find solace in it, we find peace in it, we find in it. So I guess, like any other books, this book is it's magical how it can heal people from a lot of, heal them from a lot of chaos that's happening around in the society, a lot of things that are happening around, and be a little distracted, and in a good way. And I think that could be really helpful to a lot of people, especially in Bhutan too, like how we can personally relate to it, that has its own other beauty, right? So it has really helped me during my quarantine. I remember the time I
Really
changed
good.
that, right? And I was like, the person that came to my mind was to take this book with me to quarantine. So while I was quarantined, I was like, reading through it, and I was more into coloring, and I was so amazed at how fast time passes by while I'm just like, focusing on one thing. And by the time I know, it's already lunch or dinner. So it's really helped me too, La.
Great. I'm so happy to hear that. In fact, you should, if you get time, either get someone to come by or you come by yourself and pick up a few more copies from me as a gift to you, to give Age Ange. And I'm sure you're telling me about how convinced you are about that. Why don't you just pay it forward? Let me give you a few copies. Go and give it to a few people who you feel will benefit from
So
it.
that's really kind of you. Thank you. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that moment.
Okay.
With again, I won't take much of your time. So, like, I'll directly ask you that this question, and like when I remember reading the first chapter while I was in quarantine, and it says, like, so as you mentioned in your first chapter, you said Om is the center, right? So as you keep on writing, we can understand the different sounds that are produced while we're chanting our prayers and while we're saying the word Om, and how it's the beginning of all sounds. So you also said it signifies a lot of changing energy, and that is going to gain methods and wisdom through it. So, like, do you feel that chanting prayers and focusing, and like focusing on your energy levels and meditating can be achieved by everyone, and not just people who are religious, not just people who are joining the monastic system?
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. Om is not a superstition. Om is the science. Om is actually the beginning of all sounds.
mhm,
Ah, Om. There
mhm.
are three sounds that come together to make Om,
Right.
and it starts from the bottom and it vibrates and it comes out through and it releases through the top of your chakra,
Mhm.
your highest chakra. So chanting Om can create a vibration in your body that is physically detoxing, proven to be. It
Mhm.
can detox your body of so much. 95% of the toxins in your body can be released through your breath. So there's so much science in this. I'm interested in the science of religion. I'm interested not in superstition, although I'm ruled by it. I'm always looking at Zaka, or when to cut my hair or when to cut my nails. But yet I am a staunch believer in the science of religion. So silly I am. we are all very superstitious, but I would urge people to be more scientific in their approach.
It makes it more realistic.
Yes, like you said, Om is the center. And did you see in that piece? Did you find the Om?
Like in the illustration?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if I did.
Have you got the book with you?
This is not my copy, actually. I left it in Paro.
That's okay. That's okay.
Wait,
will you open it to
yeah.
Will you open it to Om is the center?
Okay, just a minute.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Here it is.
Right. And now, can you identify the Om in that picture? It's right there.
Is it
in the center? There, in the palm. There you go. And that chakra is the Ma. But you'll see the under the chakra. You see the and the chakra is the Ma. So that's Om.
Wow, I've actually not seen the and the Ma in it. I think I'm blinded by the illustration and the coloring part.
Yeah, no.
Really,
it's I just subtly hid it there because it's a playful piece, it's just, I like to be playful in this whole thing, just a little code.
Right, it's a,
yeah.
Seriously, I've just seen the and the Ma right now. And
yes, exactly. It's just so much fun, right? You have to keep it a little bit away from you, and just have fun with it. Not many people don't see it, and then I just have fun by telling you, like, oh, did you see where I hit the Om, and it's a nice revelation.
Do you have a lot of cues like this in the other arts as well?
I beg your pardon?
Do you have like the hidden clues that you have right now, the and the Ma in the other illustrations as well?
Well, you don't know. You'll have to look. You'll have to see.
Okay, that's like all right. I think that's
I know that I've hidden one or two things elsewhere as well.
Okay, so I think I have some homeworks to do later on.
Okay.
I mean, like for a person like you, who ventured down a lot of different career paths, from becoming an actor, a model, to a businessman, and coming down to writing a book, being an author and an artist. Going through all your experiences, I mean, why do you feel that praying and concentrating on your energy levels and your spirituality is important to you at this stage of life?
I suppose it's always been important to me. It's just that I'm doing something about it more now. Mm-hmm. And it seems to matter as one grows older, because life is full of baggage that you can't throw away. Every year is another suitcase that you have to carry, and as the journey goes on in life, you better make sure that your wheels are well oiled and your air is in the tire and you have enough petrol for your journey. Otherwise, that baggage can weigh you down a lot, and everybody has baggage. Everybody has baggage. It's just how you carry it.
Yeah. So
I just choose to put mine on a nice carriage and make sure that carriage is carrying the weight for me, and I'm coolly walking ahead. So I think that's important. It's how you deal with things, and it's not that suddenly I've become spiritual, and I've always been. It's just that I'm expressing it now.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like religion comes in different forms, and religion doesn't necessarily mean praying and prostrating. And it can be in the smallest and the littlest things, like an act of kindness, or being generous, or doing a good deed every day, or just being there to help someone. And a lot of people mistake it with religion and being religious and being spiritual, with visiting hagas every day, being in the church for hours and praying. Just with the prayer books and reciting the prayers. And I think it all comes down to the deeds that we do. Even if we practice religion, even if we pray every day, but at the end of the day, if you're not good, if you are not kind to people, I think there's no use in practicing religion.
Absolutely. But it's important for you to realize that religion is an organized belief.
Mm-hmm.
So, the way I define it is that religion is the organized belief in something.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality is the humane kindness that religion uses. So it's important for you to realize that the act of your kindness is not religious. It's spiritual. It's yourself. It's you. It's the inherent goodness in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But as a practitioner of a certain religion, you apply all this too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. With your book, what type of audience are you targeting? When you were writing this book, were you targeting young, youthful readers or like middle-aged
I
readers or
know.
elder people? Because everyone goes through different experiences at different times of life. And you've actually mentioned connecting your spirituality and your inner self to religion. So like, which audience are you specifically targeting with this book?
It's so funny. I wanted to laugh so much when you were asking me that question because when I made this book, I had every intention of being taken seriously, and I said, I want the thinking individual and I want the adult and I want everybody, everybody who practices spirituality, who's an adult, who could be 20 years old or 80 years old or 100 years old. And I want that person, the mature adult, the thinking mind. And the first few people who bought my books were exactly those people, but they were buying it for their kids. And the kids loved the book. And I was like, oh, what's going on here. But you can't control it, right? You can't control it. And then the kids loved the book. And it bounced back so beautifully because the kids loved the book so much and they found it more complicated and complex than what they were used to for a simple coloring book, that they would take that artwork and they would take that book back to their parents and say, oh, what is this and what is this and why? And then the never-ending questions of why and why and why. And then the adults became more interested in it. And then sure enough, now I got the bonus of adults giving it to their kids to color, but the book coming back to the adults to explain everything. So the adults are getting into it to explain to children as well. So I'm doubly blessed.
Last. So you've actually had this, you wanted to like, your target was for the adults, but it turns out to be, the young people who are more interested into it, and then,
No, it,
indulging
it, it the target was the adults, but the adults were buying the book for the
the kids.
children.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because these days, do you know very many adults who are interested in coloring?
Mhm.
But then that's why the cover is so colorful, and I wrote over there "color to heal" because I want people to, with one sentence, know that that book is a medicine. Pick it up and you can start a healing process because everybody requires some form of healing as we go along.
Especially during this time, right?
Oh yeah, my gosh, this is the time when, oh my gosh, I think India's on the lockdown. Otherwise, they should be printing many more copies of this book and getting it out to all the individuals. I think we really need to do that. I hope that more and more people. It's already proven to be quite successful in its own small way. We only went with close to about 10,000 copies, and then it sold out, and then we went for a reprint. So I'm very blessed and happy about that. I don't think very many people take me as a serious author. I still have a lot of thoughts. I would like to be a conventional author where I write only words and whatever. But this is what I know. Art a little bit. I'm not even a very good artist in the conventional sense of the word. I just copied iconography and I redesigned it in my own way. But I do my own original works. This piece behind me is inspired, and I love the color blue. And I insisted that the cover is blue, you see. So, and then it should also be about impermanence. That's why there's the mandala over there, and it's supposed to signify that nothing is permanent. Even that book, you'll chew it up you'll be healed, and then you throw it away.
Mhm. That's well. We're actually down to the last final question for today. And my final question to you is, what would your advice be to the upcoming writers and to your readers and your audience who actually buys your book? Because you as an author have a message, have a different message, like the hidden rainbow, you have it hidden down there. And I wonder what that message could be to your readers. Or so basically, there's like two questions. What would your advice be to
Yeah.
upcoming writers? And your advice to your readers, your hidden message in it.
For all the aspiring writers and authors of the world, it's very important that you believe in yourself. If you look for others to believe in you before you believe in yourself, or if you look for others to believe in you, to convince yourself that what you're doing is right, then that's the wrong way to start a journey. You have to believe in yourself first. If you believe in yourself first, that first step will not be a problem. And whichever direction, you may go in the wrong direction, but at least you took that step. It's important for you to be responsible for your journey. So that's my advice. I cannot tell you how to do something. That you go to the book for dummies, because I've always been the kind of person who has done things my own way. 10 people can come before me and walk down the very path that I want to walk down. But I don't check how they walk on that path. I see that they're going in that direction, but the way I walk will be the way I walk. So it's important to keep your originality, your own thoughts, and be convinced of everything yourself, not have other people convince you of it. So your own conviction is testimony at the end of the day, your work. For example, my book. My book is not there to teach you anything. My book is not something that you're going to learn, that is some revelation that you didn't already know. My book is just a little capsule of science where if you apply yourself to it, you'll automatically heal. And in the process, you might learn something because it's just the way I say it that makes it a little simpler and easier to understand. So that's all that I'm doing with the book. You should not think that you're here to save the world on your own, but you're here to together contribute. Do your bit, do your bit and do it earnestly and sincerely, and you could be an inspiration to others. You could be an example to others. You could be a team member. And that's, for me, very important. As far as the audience is concerned, like I said, I didn't have an intention to reach everybody. I was specific in the science of it. I was like, oh, this is for adults, they'll understand. But the bonus for me was that spirituality is for everybody. And look at how it works out, where even though I intended it for older people, those very older people were buying it for the children who loved coloring, but made the adults take part in it because it was complex. So they wanted the adults to explain it to them. So everybody got involved. And that was the bonus for me, that everybody enjoyed the book. My nieces, they love coloring in it. They don't even read it. And they ask the parents, oh, what's this, what's that? And then my brother tells me, oh, God, what did you do? I have to now study it, So, it's fun for me to know that everybody is actually, this book is meant for everybody, even though I intended it for an older lot. So that's my lesson.
And the message to your readers.
The message to my readers is that thank you so much for believing that you could start reading my book or even coloring in it. It is your own journey. Thank you for taking it as a medicine, as a little vitamin to help you on your own spiritual journey. I'm very glad that I could be a part of it. And at the end of the day, even if you do pick up this book, it doesn't mean that you have to just start coloring in it immediately. Do you know that I own my own copy and I haven't even colored one piece since it got published? I colored all my other pieces, while learning, while doing it, But after it got published, I haven't colored a single piece in my own book because I just wanted it white. I didn't want any color on it.
Okay.
And and I keep staring at it and I keep saying, oh, one day I'm going to color that. Oh, I'm going to make that color in the book. I've done the pieces in color elsewhere, but in the book, after it got printed, I didn't make any color. I didn't color any of the books because I just love the white of it. I said, oh, uh, maybe I'll put white on the white. And then I look at it and I say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I start procrastinating because tomorrow I think, oh no, the color should be blue. And then the next day I think another color. But it's therapy because even if you're not physically coloring in it, you're looking at the piece and you imaginatively in your mind, you're coloring parts of it. Blue there, red there. When you do that, automatically you're undergoing the therapy because you're applying the colors.
And I love how, a lot of things are actually hidden in this book. Like its own title, The Hidden Rainbow. I think the book itself is a hidden rainbow. Like how
Thank
you
you.
base your example of your family as the hidden rainbow. Like I think I would base this book as a hidden rainbow itself. How it has a lot of hidden meanings in it, a lot of hidden realities to it, a lot of hidden clues in it, like the and the mother that I just found out few minutes ago. And how the interesting part is how each reader could actually relate to it in their own way. Like how I said, there's no restriction to it, and we literally have all the freedom to actually choose how we want it to be as. We can look at it the way we want to look at it. We can perceive it as,
Absolutely.
yeah, we can perceive it as a therapy, and we can even perceive it as, oh, I'm just gonna bypass my time by coloring it as just a coloring book. Or we can even look at it as a storybook, relating, listening to the
Yeah,
art, listening to the story that is behind the art that you've illustrated in it. And how ignorant we are when it comes to the Bhutanese culture, the Bhutanese art. It's so unique from the rest of the art that we have in the world, and we don't take time to appreciate it. So I really
oh,
hope,
cheers a lifelong thing more.
right, love.
Even our Agis and Angis, whole life they've been doing their religion and still there are things they don't know. So it's just your own journey.
I think it's the notion that we're stuck with on religion. We think of religion as something so big, but it's the simple little things in life. And it's not about,
Very good, Yeshe.
that is what I think
Excellent.
about
I
it.
love that idea. Very good. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that is how we can perceive it as. And like there are different readers with different experiences in life. And how I actually asked the question about, the experiences that you've gone through and the hidden rainbow in your own life, and how we feel like, the hidden rainbow between the people within
Yeah.
ourselves, with the mind, with, how we go through life. And I think every one of us have different perceptions, different way of perceiving things. So I might look at this book as a coloring book, but someone might look at it as something very therapeutic, and someone might look at it as just a coloring book. So there's like differences to it. I think it has its own beauty to it. So thank you so
Word.
much for bringing life to this. I mean, bringing this book to life, and for making this so relatable, making this reliable. And we're like, I think every one of us need an escape place. Sometimes, we find ourselves very lost, confused. We find ourselves restless, tired. But I think there are things that we run to, right? And a lot of people run back to books. And this could be a new start to it, coloring. And who could have thought coloring to be something that therapeutic, something that could heal you, and it's like color to heal. It's so short. It's very simple, just 3 words, but it literally has a big meaning to it. And we would know it only if we, readers, you would actually know it only if you buy this book, read it, and color it. So I'd urge you all to definitely buy this book, try it for yourself, and then we would love to hear your reviews. So thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Kelly. I really appreciate you,
Thank
you
you.
are, the works you're doing, and the amazing person that you are. You are a person that I look up to, and I'm so glad that I could actually start off uh, with this, digital salon series with you. This is the first time we're meeting virtually, and I'm so glad we could start it off with this beautiful masterpiece.
Thank you so much, Ishmael. It's
Thank
very kind of you for giving me your kind words. And thank you so much to the Bhutan Echoes for organizing this digital salon.